Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and today we're going to talk about how YouTube got something right. Well, maybe. This video was originally going to be about how the Young Turks stuck their nose into the Steven Crowder versus Carlos Lispy queer Maza debate. I was happy to give my opinion on the Crowder situation, but I didn't really want to when so many others had. Not unless I had something new to talk about, which is where the Young Turks came in.
Recently, a man named Carlos Maza, who works at Vox and goes by the Twitter handle Gay Wonk, made a montage showcasing all the times conservative funny man Steven Crowder, aka the guy who would just essentially take his camera and start trying to own the libs in public. He made a montage of all the times Steven Crowder used gay, anti-gay motivated slurs against him.
They go on to show the original video, which we'll get to in a little bit. But first I want to show you what made me laugh when I watched this video. It's a little bit later when this happens.
And I want to be really clear here. This is not really an example of hate speech or even just offensive speech versus a self-proclaimed queer creator. This is an example of a giant multinational media conglomeration in NBC attempting to squash a competitor, attempting to squash a much smaller, truly independent, completely independently funded creator. This is David versus Goliath.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
Right, like, come, oh my God.
He's so
come on.
pathetic. Okay, I can't stand Steven Crowder for a number of reasons. Like, he's attacked us, he's attacked me specifically, and I don't care, right?
Did you catch that? I don't like Steven for a number of reasons, like he's attacked me, but I don't care.
I can't stand Steven Crowder for a number of reasons. Like, he's attacked us, he's attacked me specifically, and I don't care, right?
This whole video is full of this kind of shit. Contradictory nonsense where it's like, he's insulted me, that's why I hate him. But that's not really why I hate him. But what else do you expect from Anna, I'm fucking better than you, Kasparian? For those of you who have been living under a rock, the story we're talking about blew up because Carlos Maza tweeted this.
Since I started working at Vox, Steven Crowder's been making video after video debunking strike-through. Every single video has included repeated, overt attacks on my sexual orientation and ethnicity. Here's a sample.
Before we get to the video, with our favorite Lispy sprite from Vox. It's ridiculous. It's bonkers. You're being given a free pass as a crappy writer because you're gay.
That center line on his little queer graph there. What is
Well,
that
now
line?
the graph is queer?
Violence, filth.
Okay, so the little queer could eat his chips all nonchalantly. It's code for rape, Mr. Queer eating chips on the Vox channel. Chip, but you can eat just one. Like, this is what Mr. Gay Vox wants to do. Mr. Lispy Queer from Vox. What were you holding, Gay Latino from Vox? Even his hand movement in fast motion is gay. Now we're here with the short-haired angry lesbian on Skype. And cable news bitching. Two gay guys sitting there eating a banana. We get the symbolism there. The truth is hiding in a closet 2 weeks later, probably along to his next Pride Parade outfit. This guy on the gay semi-Latino Vox. Oh, okay, so you really are just an angry little queer. All right, I can't deal with this sprite anymore. Okay, he just sachets across without, like, just, the gay Vox sprite is wrong! Now he could be a tranny, Your Honor! But how many lispy, angry sprites and Vox sachet across your screen and try and tell you otherwise? Or you, by the way, the gay Mexican guy? The gay Latino V-neck. Gay Mexican. Or Mexican gay guy used to work. Mexican gay Latino there at Vox. Oh, gay Latino from Vox. The token Vox gay atheist sprite was surprisingly flaccid chest, considering how thin he is. It's very bizarre to me. Ad hominem, yes, but it was an addendum to fact.
And that's where this all began. Carlos was throwing a fit because Steven Crowder had made fun of him now and then. 2 years of harassment, which boils down to less than a 2-minute clip of him throwing insults. What he didn't show is all of the other stuff Steven was talking about at the time, how Crowder was debunking a lot of the stupid shit that Maza likes to say. YouTube responded to Maza and said they would look into it. And for the last 4 days, we've all been waiting to see what would happen. Well, most of us. Maza kept whining.
In case you're wondering what happens when YouTube lets a bully rally millions of fans to target someone in violation of their terms of service, Crowder's buddies are now selling a Carlos Maza as a fag shirt. Mirror the design of his Socialism is for Fags merch.
I'm having trouble believing Carlos didn't make that shirt himself. He seems like an attention whore. And we'll get to that a little bit later, but I haven't seen anything that shows me that Steven Crowder's fans or friends or anybody that even watches his stuff made this shirt. The only person I see desperate for attention here is Carlos. That's just my theory. I have no proof. I'm just saying. Anyway, Carlos really lost his shit when Steven did this.
Steven Crowder just published a 20-minute fake apology video. where he gratuitously repeats every gross thing he's done on his show, making a joke out of it. He's daring YouTube to do something about it, knowing full well they won't actually enforce their policies.
Finally, I would like to apologize for the use of all of the following racially, sexually, and generally prejudicially charged pejorative nouns and or adjectives that have been used on this program. Homo, colored, queer, rear admiral, buzz-cutted lesbian chain gang, starfish, and Mexican.
I have seen that clip many times, and Jesus Christ. Mr. Crowder, my hat is off to you. You got some brass balls, sir. So after all this waiting, finally last night, YouTube issues their ruling.
Thanks again for taking the time to share all of this information with us. We take allegations of harassment very seriously. We know this is important and impacts a lot of people. Our team spent the last few days conducting an in-depth review of the videos flagged to us, and while we found language that was clearly hurtful, the videos as posted don't violate our policies. We've included more info below to explain this decision. As an open platform, it's crucial for us to allow everyone, from creators to journalists to late-night TV show hosts, to express their opinion within the scope of our policies. Opinions can be deeply offensive, but if they don't violate our policies, they'll remain on our site. Even if a video remains on our site, it doesn't mean we support that viewpoint. There are other aspects of the channel that we're still evaluating. We'll be in touch with any further updates.
As you might expect, Carlos was not happy. He's been on a tweet storm, and here's just a few examples. Please note I am not using a lispy gay stereotypical voice, because I care.
Good lord. @YouTube says it didn't punish Crowder because he was focused primarily on debating when he repeatedly called me a lispy queer. You can harass queer people as much as you want as long as it's sandwiched between debating. Unreal. YouTube pretends to care about queer and marginalized creators while refusing to protect us from abuse and harassment. YouTube arms our abusers with the platform they need to target us when we speak up. YouTube rewards our abusers with views and money when they do it well. If you're a reporter covering this @YouTube nightmare and need a quote for your piece, please contact me. I'd like to spend the rest of the week giving you colorful quotes about all the ways YouTube exploits LGBT people while arming our abusers with tools of harassment.
Carlos, man. But he's getting his wish. Because when I woke up this morning, the first thing I saw was this piece from the Washington Post. Now, I'm going to link this below, but if you don't have a subscription or you've read more than 3 of their articles this month, you may not be able to read it without some workarounds.
A right-wing YouTuber hurled racist, homophobic taunts at a gay reporter. The company did nothing.
Oh my God! Not a right-wing YouTuber hurling racist, homophobic taunts at a gay reporter. This is fucking stupid.
Carlos Maza, a video producer for the news site Vox, said the harassment began about 2 years ago. Steven Crowder, a right-wing commentator and comedian, had begun to call out Maza's sexuality and his race, Maza's gay and Latino, in some of his videos on YouTube. Last week, Maza said he finally grew sick of it. He edited a video of all the epithets that Crowder hurled at him over the last couple of years into a video and uploaded it to Twitter.
Yeah, that's the video we watched earlier. The less than 2-minute video to show all of the harassment over 2 years. And again, no mention of the fact that all of it was included in Crowder debunking the stuff that Carlos had been saying. It's not like Crowder just said, hey, let's go pick on the gay guy. No, it was just jokes added for flavor, because Crowder's a comedian for fuck's sake. But these people wouldn't know a joke if it bit them on their overly sensitive asses. They think Amy Schumer and Hannah Gadsby are the height of comedy, because they're morons.
In an edited video compilation, Crowder calls Maza a Lispy Sprite, a little queer, Mr. Gay Vox, Mr. Lispy Queer from Vox, an angry little queer, gay Mexican, gay Latino from Vox, and more. Crowder also breaks into a caricatured gay voice at points and appears to pantomime oral sex with his microphone. During one of the segments, Crowder wears a shirt that says socialism is for F-S. The tweet took off, and YouTube said in response that it would investigate Crowder's video. But the company announced Tuesday night that Crowder's videos didn't violate its policies and that it would leave them on the site. The decision drew a torrent of criticism as concern grows about YouTube's resolve to moderate its content.
It's also drawn an amazing amount of support, you biased motherfucker. There's a whole lot of us out here who cheered the decision because YouTube finally got one right. They finally stood with their creators instead of overly sensitive pussies. Crowder was not targeting Carlos Maza because he's gay or Latino. He was targeting him because he's about one IQ point away from wearing a helmet and a drool bib.
Maza, who is of Cuban descent and has been open about his sexuality online, said he was upset by YouTube's decision, saying he believes the company was allowing itself to be used for racial and sexual harassment.
It seems to me to be a clear violation of that policy,
he said in an interview.
I understand that speech always involves gray areas, but that it's hard to enforce hate speech policies should not distract from the fact that it is sometimes extremely clear-cut, and this seems to be one of those cases.
Somebody making fun of you, no matter the reason, no matter what they choose to pick on, is not automatically hate speech. You need to sue your parents for not teaching you sticks and stones.
YouTube's policy explicitly forbids hate speech, which it defines as content promoting violence or hatred against individuals or groups based on things such as race, sexuality, nationality, and immigration status. Using stereotypes that incite or promote hatred are also prohibited. The company also prohibits behavior intended to maliciously harass, threaten, or bully others, including content that is deliberately posted in order to humiliate someone, or that makes hurtful and negative personal comments/videos about another person.
There's a couple of things to mention here. One, the post is being dirty as fuck. I'm going to link the actual hate speech policy and the harassment policy down below. They pull from both of them for this bullshit. You'll also notice there's only parts of that are in quotes. The rest of it is their interpretation rather than it being the actual fucking policy. But they still state it as though it's a fact. Now, most of the criticism YouTube has gotten is because it says content that makes hurtful and negative personal comments videos about another person. And they did say in their response that there were some hurtful comments. This falls under the harassment and cyberbullying policy, which says content or behavior intended to maliciously harass, threaten, or bully others is not allowed on YouTube. Making jokes about somebody when that's not the overall content of your video, when you're, say, I don't know, debunking stupid shit they've said online, that is not just to harass, threaten, or bully them. That's the part the overly sensitive types out there keep missing. But in fairness, it is hard to read when your head is firmly up your ass.
YouTube appears to be broken in some ways that we can't tolerate, Vox Media said in a statement. By refusing to take a stand on hate speech, they allow the worst of their communities to hide behind cries of free speech and fake news, all while increasingly targeting people with the most offensive and odious harassment.
We have seriously raised a nation of absolute fucking cowards. Fucking pussies who are afraid of words. The most offensive and odious harassment? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Or do you just not know what those words mean? He got called Lispy, queer, and Mexican. Which of those is the most horrible thing ever said, you overly sensitive clit? They drone on a little bit more, including telling us that they reached out to Crowder's website, but he never got back to him. Apparently nobody thought to try to contact him directly. They drone on a little bit more, including telling us that they reached out to Crowder's website, but he never got back to him. Apparently nobody thought to try to contact him directly. You might think journalists for the Washington fucking Post would know how to do that, but you'd be wrong. Anyway, then we get back to Carlos.
He told the Washington Post that he was doxxed. Someone gave out his cell phone number, a common tactic of online harassers, and was quickly flooded with texts urging him to debate Crowder last year. After that, superiors from his company reached out to YouTube to bring up the issue with Crowder's targeting of him, Maza said.
No mention of the fact that Crowder does not support this and openly says repeatedly not to harass people that he talks about. Wonder why that is. I'm sure it was an honest oversight. Dirty motherfuckers.
YouTube spokeswoman Andrea Favell said Crowder's never instructed his followers to harass Maza. Maza said he felt as though the company's embrace of LGBT issues, it changed its logo to rainbow colors amid LGBT Pride Month and routinely spotlights the work that LGBT creators do on the platform, was hypocritical.
It's dehumanizing, and it's something I thought YouTube would be more protective about because it brands itself as being a queer space,
he said.
But you can't have that space if those people have to worry about being humiliated in front of millions of people every time they want to be themselves.
Oh, let go of your pearls, Grandma. Nobody's saying you can't be yourself. What they're saying is if you say stupid shit online, expect that occasionally somebody's going to make fun of you as they respond to the dumb shit you just said. If you think for even a moment that Carlos actually gives a shit about this, I have a bridge I'd really like to sell you. If you want to know what Carlos is really up to, take a look at this story. Vox Media has shifted its hiring towards part-timers and contract workers since its staff unionized. Pay particular attention to that date. Did you pay attention to the date on Carlos's first tweet? Well, ain't that a fucking coinky-dink? At the end of this article, there is an update from Vox saying that they don't really have a problem. They hired 150 full-timers in 2018, and they expect to do the same this year. They don't mention that they laid off 50 in 2018. Carlos sees the writing on the wall. There are problems at Vox. As far as anyone can tell, the only part of the business that is growing is their podcasting. Carlos is trying to raise his profile, so maybe the mothership, NBC, will save his ass before Vox Titanics with his ass on board. And you know what? I could be wrong about that. He absolutely could be the giant pussy he seems to be right here. But that timing is a little bit too coincidental. Either way, YouTube, they made the right call here. For now. You see, this isn't where the story ends. Let's take one more look at YouTube's last tweet.
Even if a video remains on our site, it doesn't mean we endorse, support that viewpoint. There are other aspects of the channel that we're still evaluating. We'll be in touch with any further updates.
There are other aspects of the channel we're still evaluating. Uh-oh. That's YouTube covering its ass in case it gets too much pushback. Or it could just be a response to shit like this.
Given that YouTube are investigating Crowder, now would probably be the best time to go and report the videos of his that breach their terms of service. Searching for Crowder and Vox will give you most of the videos within the homophobic bullying.
That's right, not only is Carlos involved in a mass flagging campaign against Crowder, so is this asshole, and several others. You know, the people so upset about harassment that they're, well, harassing people? Because that makes a lot of fucking sense. These experts on the terms of service who have apparently never fucking read them because they're breaking them themselves. But it's okay. They're doing it for a good cause. They're doing it to shut down that right-wing racist homophobe who isn't a racist or a homophobe. But he did make jokes, and jokes can't be tolerated. Not in 2019. For fuck's sake. YouTube, I know you're not listening, but please, please don't back down on this. You made the right call. You backed up your creator. For once, you stood behind us, and you know what? If you stick with that decision, we'll stand behind you. But I gotta be honest, I don't have a lot of hope. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up this one. If you enjoy what I do here, please consider becoming a Patreon or supporting the channel through a Streamlabs donation. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter so you can find me wherever I happen to be. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I'll see you next time.
I can't stand Steven Crowder for a number of reasons. Like, he's attacked us, he's attacked me specifically, and I don't care, right?
Your life makes me sad.
Fuzzy monkeys.